We follow a lot of YouTube channels varying from The Verge, Brut, Tanmay Bhat to Ankur Warikoo. All of them are unique in their own ways. But today, we're going to discuss the two major buckets these creators fall under: the individual creators and the brands. Let's have these two battle it out in 3 rounds to see which direction you should take. Welcome to Frontrunners show and let's get started. Round 1, getting started. As a creator who's starting out, it's very important to find your creator market fit. Creator market fit is nothing but a sweet spot where you find the right medium and format of creating content that you, your audience, and the algorithm loves. The best way to find creator market fit is through experimentation. Being an individual creator gives you the space to explore multiple mediums, formats, niches in your early days to find your creator market fit. Let's take the example of Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast started his YouTube career by streaming games on YouTube. Initially, he didn't get much of traction by playing YouTube games. So what he did was he started experimenting with multiple formats varying from philanthropical videos, giveaways, telling Logan Paul 1 lakh times on YouTube, and so much more. What remained constant throughout his career is the personality and the aura of Jimmy, and it's shared in everything he made. Audience are attached to the creator who made this video and are not attached with the brand that he tried to establish by playing games initially. So being an individual creator gives you the freedom of starting from bottoms up approach and figure out what you want to do eventually when you start doing YouTube. But in the case of brands, it's totally the opposite. They take the top down approach. YouTube channels like The Print, TVF started as a group, and they started with a single ideology that they all believed in. Your brand needs to stand for something, and you don't have the luxury to pivot your ideology multiple times. Yes, you can still experiment with the medium and format of creating content in the ideology that you and your team believe in, but your ideology more or less needs to be the same. Else you need to keep changing your brand process and try to establish your brand again and again to your audience. So being an individual creator reduces the friction to get started, and you don't have to spend days thinking about what to name your channel. Being a brand sets a few constraints and lets you experiment with the medium and format of creating content and lets you go from there. So I would say it's a tie between the individual creators and the brands in round 1. So now round 2, relationship with the audience. When you're an individual creator, you interact with your audience in every single video of yours. Every single video of yours will have your personality in it, and your audience get attached to your personality much easily. We are more likely to trust an individual creator than a brand. This lets you establish a much deeper connection with your audience when you are an individual creator. When Tanmay Bhat live streams his videos, he is directly interacting with his audience in every video of his. He's being vulnerable in front of the camera, and he's okay being himself. This lets him establish a much deeper connection with this audience and a much more loyal fans than what a brand could create. Or even in the case of podcasts, when a creator has a long conversations with himself or other persons on the podcast, you have a much more intimate connection with the creator who's talking out there. Brands can achieve the same, but it's much harder for a brand to do this when compared to an individual creator. If a brand is represented through an individual creator to the audience, then it's comparatively easier to achieve this. Let's take the example of Film Companion. Film Companion is a channel where it covers everything related to cinema. But in Film Companion, each of their videos are done by different individual creators. Eventually, you tend to like few of these creators and you stick with them. So thus, in that case, you form an intimate connection with few of the creators who represent the brand Film Companion. But here's the tricky thing. When that creator leaves Film Companion, you are probably not attached to the brand Film Companion, but you are attached to the creator who was representing the brand Film Companion. So your brand needs to offer something much larger than these individual creators who are representing the brand. So individual creators can achieve a much deeper connection with their audience compared to brands, and it can be a little bit difficult for brands to achieve the same. So in the case of relationship with the audience, I would say individual creators have an advantage there. Now round 3, longevity and scalability. Longevity. It's hard for the individual creators to sustain for a very long time. It's a lonely journey, and you have to show up to the work every single day or week for your videos to be consistently out on YouTube. This can burn you out and can lead to a lot of mental breakdown. Creators also tend to become irrelevant much more faster because there's only so much of personality that you can show on the videos to entertain your audience. This has happened to a lot of creators on YouTube such as Casey Neistat, Emma Chamberlain, and a lot more. There is an amazing video by Matt where he talks about creator lifespan. He says on an average, individual creators' lifespan is about 5 to 7 years in total, which is a bit scary. Brands usually create content for a very long period of time. Being a brand, you're pushed to create a team from a very early stage because it's in your DNA. Having a team is a huge positive because now you can create content consistently for a very long time. You have an emotional and a mental support that you constantly get from your team. Even though you don't show up for 1 or 2 days for work or even 1 week or 2 weeks, you still have your team back there to create content and put it out there on the internet. You don't have the feeling of constantly running on a hamster wheel, and this is a huge game changer for most people. Scalability. Brands can also diverge into many more spaces and can still be relevant with their audience. Now take TVF. TVF can create sketches from multiple writers and keep creating amazing videos on YouTube consistently. They can scale beyond a single creator's persona to create content. But this is not the case with individual creators. Let's take the case of Ali Abdaal. Ali Abdaal is building a media company and a brand, and he also has a 20-member team. Even though he has a 20-member team, he needs to show up every single week for creating these videos so that the channel keeps running. The brand is very much attached to Ali's persona, and you cannot detach Ali Abdaal from Ali Abdaal's brand. Ali Abdaal needs to be there and keep making these videos for the brand to sustainably run for a longer time. This is the reason Ali Abdaal is building another brand named Part-Time Academy, where this brand is totally detached from Ali Abdaal. Ali Abdaal need not be there for this brand to scale beyond a point. So this is a problem individual creators constantly face. The scalability is an issue. Thus, brands have a very high possibility of creating content sustainably for a very long period of time and also can scale beyond the initial creator's persona who started the brand. So in the case of scalability and longevity, clearly brands have a huge lead here. All that being said, there are many successful examples for both the approaches right now on YouTube. It's up to you, the creator, whom you want to take inspiration as, and get started with it. That's it for today's episode. Subscribe to our Creator Economy newsletter that we publish twice a week. We're also opening a community very soon, so sign up for the community beta on the links in the description. Thank you for watching the video. See you next week. Bye bye.